Hey friends! So I am here to talk a few plant techniques with you guys. Specifically, I want to talk about water propagation, which is the process of getting your plants to root or grow in water, which is really cool. These are my friends here that are growing in water, and we've improvised using some things around the house. You see we got these Patron bottles for these guys, and then a shot glass for these little ones here. Some cool vase for the lucky bamboo. It's about time that I change the water up for these guys. You want to make sure that you change the water at least once to twice a week. I'm going to show you what also you should add to the water if you have, these things available. If not, again, you can improvise. I'll give you some techniques or some suggestions on alternatives. So, this is a great if you are losing leaves due to overwatering, which is a great example here. I actually had overwatered this monstera, and the root kind of just turned black and mushy, and it just withered away, and the plant just kind of pulled out very easily. So I wanted to save it, and with saving it and this plant developing its own root system, I'm now able to plant this in soil, and this is able to become its own separate plant from the mother plant. So this is how you can also multiply your plants and get more, and you're able to do this with every single plant. It's called propagating. Different techniques for different plants, but for the most part, most of them propagate in water. So time to change these guys as mentioned. Sometimes it depends on the plant, the size of the plant, and also the type of plant, but it can take, let's say, a week up to maybe 2 months before you can see roots growing out of your plants. Before you plant it up in soil, you want to make sure that the roots grow about, they say 2 to 4 inches, but I'm going to go ahead and say 4 to maybe 5, 6, just to ensure that the plant has enough established roots to live a healthy life. So, yeah, let's get to it. So, I'm gonna empty the water and show you some root porn. So this is the lucky bamboo. And this is what those roots look like. And this is 3 separate plants. I was actually losing this one, and I did something really cool to save it. This one here I was losing. It doesn't look as healthy as these, but also if you look at this, these roots are newer, younger than these more established roots. So this was bare. It didn't have any roots on it, and the leaves had started turning really yellow, and I was about to lose it. So I bought this stuff called Super Thrive, which I showed in an earlier post, and I just put a drop of it in the water, and miraculously, the plant started to develop roots very quickly, and the yellowing stopped immediately. So that worked. And I'll show you that again in the video, how I do it and the benefits. So I'm gonna empty the water. Get in there. Okay. This black stuff is exactly what I'm referring to as far as rot. So this happens sometimes when you overwater your plants, and it'll turn into this mushiness. The roots will rot, and the plant will just pull right out. If you're like if you give it a pull, it'll pull right out. And again, you can save the plant. Just because the root rotted doesn't mean that it's necessarily dead. It could actually be salvaged. So you'll see here, this little baby root is just starting, and this is going to be healthy because we're gonna treat it right. Okay, so I'm gonna get that. So my plants are spoiled. Normally I water them with filtered water, but during this process for water propagation, it really doesn't matter. You can use the tap. So I'm gonna use the tap to fill these guys up. And let's make sure we're using room temperature water, because you don't want to shock the roots with too cold or too hot water. They're just like us. They like the water to be just right. So do them as if you would want them to do unto you. I know your mama taught you that. And you want to get it fully submerged. The water will also evaporate over time, so, make sure it's full. So that's one. Let's do our little shot glass. There's two. Let's do our other little baby Patron bottle with the golden pathos. Bam. Lastly, I'm gonna do this Big Daddy. I'm actually gonna rinse the leaves off too because I see dust. Okay. Gave her a nice shower. Soaking wet, she leaking. Okay. Put you back up in there. Okay. There we go. Fill her up. Okay, now that we have everyone filled up, we're gonna add some nutrients to the water. So because these guys are growing in water and no soil, there's not many nutrients for them to grow. So we're gonna add a drop of Super Thrive to all of their water. We're also gonna add a splash of fertilizer. So this is the fertilizer that I use, but there's many out there. Just Google or go on Amazon and check out houseplant fertilizers. Check out the reviews before you make the purchase. Although, as I mentioned, most of them are good. This is my preference, sold at my local nursery. So let's go ahead and get this going. So cap full. And watch this. Just a little. All it takes. Drop. 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 More than a drop. But it's okay. Even if you put too much of this into the water, it does nothing. You're just wasting your juice, but it ain't gonna kill the plant or make it grow even faster. So you wanna follow the rules on this one, and I'm gonna pour the excess back into there. And then I'm going to add a little fertilizer, and again, I'm gonna fill the cap and just do a couple of drops. Not a couple, just a drop to each little canister, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Splash. 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 See? Pour that back. And we good to go. I'm gonna put everybody back in their respective place. And yep, we're gonna watch these roots, and then I can give y'all an update next week to show y'all what the roots look like versus today. If y'all care that much. All right. Thanks for hanging with me.